If Shadowkeep makes anything crystal clear, it's that it was built for the hardcore audience that's stuck with Destiny 2 for years through good times and bad, even if its new features run the risk of confusing and alienating new players. With important changes to Destiny's sandbox and an added focus on RPG mechanics, customization, and high-end loot to chase, Shadowkeep is a big step in the right direction in a lot of ways, but also feels like it's setting Destiny 2 up for a bright future that isn't quite here yet.
What is that pyramid?
You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice.
Shadowkeep's campaign has you working with series veteran and walking cursed image Eris Morn on a vague quest to stop some bad things from going down on Earth's moon. But what starts as a generic lunar-based hero's journey quickly reveals itself to be a chilling, tense reflection upon your character's story so far, with heavy foreshadowing of an even more challenging path set out before you. But then, the excitement ends just as quickly as it begins when, only 4 or 5 hours later, the story grinds to a halt so abruptly it might give you whiplash. Precisely when the stakes seem to be highest, you're dropped back into a patrol zone and left to discover that the campaign has ended with absolutely no fanfare. What? Sure, Shadowkeep's story has some great chapters, but it ends up feeling like the first act of a larger story that probably won't be completed in the near future. While it's great to see Bungie setting up so much for Destiny 2's future, it's hard not to walk away from the campaign with a bad taste in your mouth. In true Destiny fashion, the end of Shadowkeep's campaign is where the larger experience begins, in the form of endgame activities. In other words, a grind more threatening than any raid boss could ever hope to be. Bungie's made a big push for everything to become more complex, more customizable, more RPG-like, and downright nerdy in a good way. Armor 2.0, the new and improved quest tab, and additional progression systems provide more rewards and customization options for truly committed Guardians. But progressing in each of these areas has a massive treadmill attached to it. At least for now, Shadowkeep adds a modest amount of new content, but it can all be experienced in less than a week of regular play. That means you'll need to replay the same stuff over and over again if you're hoping to reach max power level and unlock the most significant rewards, and that's a little daunting. It's not that giving everybody a ton of things to do and items to chase is a bad thing, but the ratio of added grind versus actual new content is heavily out of balance. Even if you love a strike the 10th and 11th time you play through it, that's a time investment and repetitiveness that might drive even the most hardened Destiny 2 player to drink. The good news is that the content that Shadowkeep does add is largely great, even if it feels like there's too little of it. Plus, Bungie has a content calendar that promises more coming in the future, all of which is built into the $30 cost of this expansion. For example, the new raid launched last week and it sends you on a quest to stop some milk-powered robots from doing their inappropriate time travel shenanigans, and it's one of the best, most challenging activities you could hope to do with a group of friends, though it'll also test the strength of that friendship. It's packed with interesting mechanics like gathering and banking motes, Gambit style, and creating a chain of guardians to guide a beam of light and unlock a door. While the bosses themselves are basically just bigger and slightly modified versions of existing enemy types, the stellar mechanics and high degree of difficulty makes it one of the best raids in all of Destiny 2. On the other hand, the Vex Offensive, which is a simple series of arena battles against hordes of Vex, is less impressive. Simply put, it's a bland and monotonous grind that doesn't provide much of a challenge, or any interesting mechanics to master, or anything that helps advance the story. You enter the Black Garden, kill some stuff for 15 minutes, and earn minimal rewards in the process. What's worse is that in order to get the actual useful gear that comes from this event, you'll need to grind Vex Offensive multiple times, which makes the dullness of it even more painful. Shadowkeep improves Destiny 2 in a wide assortment of ways and gives dedicated fans a taste of things to come from an independent Bungie, but it's ultimately just a taste. Once you've burned through it, you're met with a daunting grind that makes up the bulk of this expansion. Even so, there's a lot to love about the improvements to customization, and it's hard not to get excited about the story Shadowkeep sets up, even if it doesn't develop it very far this time. It's clear this is just the beginning of a brand new chapter for Destiny 2, and I couldn't be more excited to see where it goes from here. If you're curious about more games dropping this fall, check out our reviews of Concrete Genie and John Wick Hex. And for all your reviews, news, previews, and walkthroughs, keep it right here on IGN.